Madass has a very redundant sounding name, but it's for good reason. For the unfamiliar, Madass is mutually assured destruction as a service. Madass's marketing pitch is that they provide containerized annihilation and extinction services on galaxy scale cloud native infrastructure for a fraction of the cost of on prem MAD. Madass makes a lot of sense. A lot more than MAD itself, really. But if you have an arrangement with another group that if you die, they die, outsourcing the assurance of destruction to a third party is the most reasonable option. Of course, most MAD subscribers are primitive cultures unaware of galactic cloud technology services, but there are enough advanced civilized grudges to maintain a thriving Madass marketplace. Madass has legacy dominance in the Madass marketplace because they really are innately innovative in the field and have reinvented the industry several times across the eons. Madass is headquartered on the Mad Planet. The Mad people are inscrutable in many ways. Only the Mad people understand their internal cultural values and practices, and they don't communicate with off-worlders about anything other than setting up Madass contracts. It's their primary export. What is known about the Mad Planet is mainly biological. It's called Mad Planet because the entire planet's ecosystem seems to have evolved in accordance with Mad doctrine. Most biological systems on Mad possess the ability to cause extreme damage to their environment on demise. There's a wide range of destructive mechanisms. The semi-intelligent fruiting body of the mad worm tree can force its pulmonary organ through its digestive organ. This pumps digestive fluid through its optical cavity, where catalytic enzymes decompose the digestive fluid into a toxic gas that can destroy any mad life in the vicinity. Some creatures can emit a death cry like signals, which strongly attract dangerous creatures to the area, or even release other biological infestations. It's pretty insane by Darwinian standards, though it is still Darwinian. The big difference is that the evolutionary pressure of direct predation is pretty rare. That's not to say things don't eat each other, they just can't take any risk that their prey will know you're about to eat them. So there's no hunting, not exactly. Well, it's still hunting. But even ambush predation is rare because mistakes are just too destructive. There's an extraordinary amount of camouflage and deceptive markings. Pretty much every creature looks like a few other creatures and can imitate a natural phenomenon or two. In the mad ecosystem, the practice of acquiring another creature's biological material for consumption actually looks a lot more like a cross between farming and seduction than the classic hunting or foraging you see in most worlds. For instance, the mad swift bats eat the young of the mad mush mouse because the infant mush mouse has not developed the mush mouse's ability to violently dissolve into a thick fluid which quickly cures rock hard to permanently immobilize or smother a predator. They avoid the parent mush mouse's ire by feeding them and living among the mush mouse colonies, assuming the role of midwife and caretaker to the young. The mice reproduce prodigiously, and the bats evolve to maintain a balance with the mush mice population, so a few young mice just aren't missed. The balance is pretty important, because if a bat gets too hungry and tries to eat a grown mouse, or if the mice attack a bat, triggering the bat's mad reflexive hypergolic chemical explosion, everyone loses. There's a lot of that kind of warped harvester ant sort of interaction going on the Mad Planet. A lot of the interspecies sexual and reproductive deception, too. A lot of things eat each other's babies, some semi-voluntarily. Of course, a lot of that is like seeds and fruits and such, because those kind of count as something's baby, especially in ecosystems where things that look like plants also have lungs and stuff. But there's also a lot of eating eggs and regular babies. That sounds like regular nature, but it works out pretty differently with MAD. The direct predation that does exist is necessarily based on defeating the other creature's MAD reflex. Reliance on killing a creature before the reflex can be triggered is too risky. So the only effective predation adapts to the reflex. The mad tentacleped's mad reflex involves spontaneous cartilization of its hundreds of tentacled feet into needle-sharp protrusions laced with a paralytic neurotoxin, which burst from their body after final muscular spasms. The mad horned wheel scorpion evolved a hunting technique whereby they roll over a tentaclepede, puncturing it with the horns, but rolling on quickly to a safe distance to wait for the tentaclepede to die and expend its leg munition. So, an intelligent generalist species eventually evolved that could take advantage of several different survival strategies. And despite, or perhaps because of their mad tendencies, they managed to develop a thriving technological civilization. The mad people are sort of bipeds, but have a couple of long vestigial wings they kind of hop around on sometimes. They might have two heads, or a head and a bulb that looks like a head. Little is certain about their physiology, because if you piss one off enough, it goes nuclear, very, very literally. Their thermonuclear mad capabilities are due to implanted technology, not biological. It's unclear what their natural mad defense is, but it's presumed to be statistically less destructive than their nukes, but probably a lot worse way to die. The absence of regular nuclear detonation detected on their planet suggests they're smart enough to stick to their natural mad at home. Apparently, they started developing an implantable nuclear device alongside their first attempts at spaceflight. It was just assumed they might meet other species, and if so, they'd need a reliable deterrent. It took a while to develop anything like normal interstellar trade relations. At first, nobody even really knew there was a new space-capable species around. They just thought there'd been a spate of unfortunate reactor meltdowns in sectors near the Mad Planet lately. Eventually, the mad people learned to chill out long enough not to blow everything up long enough to have a dialogue, but they also learned they didn't really have much in common with most space-capable species. But they did see a potential market for something they were really good at. The mad people's first interstellar export was the iMad. It was just a mass-produced version of their implantable thermonuclear device tailored for various other species' physiology. It was an instant hit. It wasn't the first implantable nuke on the market by any means, but implantable nukes before then were sold alongside novelty cyanide teeth and tachyon foil hats and such. They were associated with flat universe conspiracy nuts and the like. The mad people found a way to market personal, mutually assured destruction as both a cool and responsible lifestyle choice. iMad devices became as fashionable as they were functional. Some custom luxury models could even leave the owner's monogram in its blast crater. But iMad had trouble breaking into industrial, military, and government markets. Even with totalitarian regimes willing to implement forced adoption, the relatively small yield of an implantable device just wasn't enough to move tyrants to commit large contracts. Perhaps surprisingly, the mad people didn't invent mad-ass. That honor goes to a sentient nanite swarm left over from a planet that let their nanotech get away from them and became a planet-sized sentient nanite swarm. The nanite swarm started a cottage mad-ass industry, but they were serving only the surviving off-world colonies from its original planet. When the mad people found out about the idea, they committed all their resources to expanding the market potential of mad-ass. And I think that's about as far as I can stretch this. I could go on about how the mad people maybe engage in political intrigue to start a bunch of conflict to create a demand for their services, but that seems kind of tedious and obvious, so I guess I'll just stop here. But I do want to say the mad-ass tagline again in a kind of a used car salesman tone. So here's that. Mad-ass provide container... Did that work? No. Mad-ass provides containerized annihilation and extinction services on galaxy-scale cloud-native infrastructure for a fraction of the cost of on-prem MAD. That didn't go well, but I'm going to leave it as a lesson to myself in not trying things.